Hey everybody, it's Chris Eads, otherwise known as Wootini online, here with another weekly Gay Gamer video podcast. This week I want to start with a brief movie review. Shin Godzilla was released, limited release this week. It is a new Japanese Godzilla movie, directed by the directors of Neon Genesis Evangelion and Attack on Titan. So, it's in very limited US release right now, but I discovered that it was actually playing, like, it had like 2 screenings at a theater near us in Brooklyn. My husband is a huge Godzilla fan, so I was like, hey, do you want to go? And he was like, of course. The first screening was like 7 o'clock on Thursday, which Drag Race finale, so not happening. But we went to a Saturday afternoon matinee. It was a little early, but it was literally the only showing all weekend, so what are you going to do? I really enjoyed it. My husband less so, because in keeping with the original Godzilla, there's some politics in it. So there's a whole very heavy-handed political satire of the ineffectuality of Japanese government to deal with situations of any scale. So, you know, obviously when you have something as big as Godzilla, it's a lot of paperwork. I thought it was very funny, and also the way the talking and politics are shot, it's very frenetic and fast-paced, and the editing is, you know, and the music, it keeps everything moving. So I never felt like, oh, can we just get to Godzilla again? I mean, a little bit, but my husband was all like, where's Godzilla? Godzilla's being drowned out of his own movie. But it's still better than the American Godzillas, because this Godzilla shows you Godzilla and shows you Godzilla doing crazy stuff, and it's really awesome. Because the effects are really, really good. They use an amazing combination of CGI and practical effects. So sometimes it's a CGI Godzilla, sometimes it's, you know, CGI destruction, but a lot of the times it's CGI enhanced probably, but it's a guy in a suit smashing up models. And to me, sometimes that can be more effective than CGI. Like, if you're going to crush a building, doing it with a model is actually, visually, to me, almost more realistic looking, because it's so chaotic and it's just random. CGI is a little too precise and perfect, and it just looks fake, you know? Sometimes to me CGI can look more fake than models. But I thought the effects were fantastic. I loved watching him destroy everything around him. It was great. So if you have a chance, if it's in your area, check it out if you like Godzilla, because it's really, really fun. I enjoyed it. Otherwise you'll have to wait for DVD and Blu-ray release, because they're not getting a big release for this in America. I was actually surprised there were a lot of kids in this matinee audience. There's like a whole family in front of us. And it was hilarious, because I'm like, they do realize, these kids, that they're going to have to read this movie, right? Because this is not dubbed. But, yeah, they were fine. I don't know if they were getting everything, but, you know, they enjoyed watching Godzilla destroy stuff, I guess. As for gaming, I wanted to start with a quick recommendation. A bunch of my friends now have finally started playing Rise of the Tomb Raider on their PS4s, because these are people who don't have Xbox Ones or PCs, and it's a great game. You may recall a year ago, as I played it on my Xbox One, I did a bunch of episodes where I just gushed about how much I love it and how great it is and how awesome it is, and how I was actually able to find all the secrets and get 100%, which was awesome. So if you like Tomb Raider and you have a PS4, definitely play this. It's really good. If you haven't played the first Tomb Raider reboot game, what's wrong with you? Because that was also excellent. But this is another really, really good one. So if you've been waiting, jump on that, because it's really good. And finally, all my friends who don't have Xbox Ones can finally understand why I was gushing about it a year ago. They all get it now. Another big release this past week was the PlayStation VR that came out. I know a few people who've gotten it, and they seem to be enjoying it. I personally, I'm tempted. I'm being brutally honest, I'm very tempted. I would love to get it. The cost is just too prohibitive for me. I just can't do it. Because I love 3D, and 3D VR would be amazing. I would love it. But it costs more than a PlayStation 4. You know, it's like, because I would need the Move controllers and the camera, so I would need to buy the bundle for $500. But even at $400 for just the headset, that's nuts. You know, it's like $400. That's like crazy. Because it's like, it's more than a console. And at least when you're paying $400 for a console, you know that you're going to get a bunch of games for that console. Whereas when you're buying an accessory, like the PlayStation VR, there's no guarantee you're going to get a lot of games for it. You know, there's probably going to be a good push in the beginning, and then they'll trickle out. I mean, just look what happened to the Kinect. I had no problem buying the Kinect for my Xbox 360 years ago at the time, because A, it was only like $150, so the price, like for an accessory, that's more, you know, what you're going to be willing to pay is, you know, $150, that's alright. That's an accessory price. It's a little much, but it's okay. But to pay more than you did for your console for an accessory is kind of, that's a little off-putting to me. Also, the difference with the Kinect was the Kinect launched with Dance Central, which for me was the killer app for the Kinect. Like, even if you didn't buy any other games, which, I mean, I did and I enjoyed them, but playing Dance Central was like, that was worth purchasing the Kinect right there, because it was amazing. With the PlayStation VR, there's nothing really in that first launch lineup that I'm like, gotta play this. I mean, there's stuff where if I had it, I would play it and I might enjoy it, but there's nothing that's going to get me to drop $500 on it, you know? I mean, it took a while for there to be a game that would make me drop $400 on the actual PlayStation 4. So, there's going to have to be something much better to drop that kind of money on a VR headset. I'm sure there will be something that will come out eventually that I will cave, but not yet. And I'm hoping that when that does happen, that maybe the price will have come down a little, just a little bit. Because if I could get the bundle for $400, and there was a really good game that was coming out that I could play in VR, that I really wanted to play in VR, I could maybe see myself dropping $400. That I could maybe justify in my brain, but $500 is like, wow. Like, unless I win the lottery or something. If I win like a $500 scratch-off ticket, then I'll be like, hey, PlayStation VR for me. I will say that there is one killer app that they could make for the PlayStation VR, and it's not even a separate game. All they would need to do is add PSVR capability, like, my brain is fried. Make No Man's Sky work in VR. I will be all over that. I know. I can't stop talking about this game. But I haven't talked about it in weeks because there's been other topics. But here I just wanted to quick update you on how my love for No Man's Sky does continue. Because I would love to play that in VR. I think that would be absolutely incredible. Because this past weekend, I actually, I finished watching a movie, and I had my surround sound speakers turned on. And then I had some more time to kill, so I said, oh, let me pop in No Man's Sky and just play a little bit. And as it started, and it was loading, the music was playing, and it was like all around, and I said, oh, let me leave the speakers on and see what the game sounds like. Because I don't usually play my games with surround sound. I just play it through the TV. But the game started, and I was on the planet, and I could hear the wind blowing all around me, and it was like so immersive, and I was like, wow, this is so cool. So to have that effect while wearing a VR headset, like, and looking around at the planet and the creatures and everything, and I would never come up for air. It would be ridiculous. So that would be what would get me to buy a PSVR. But I am still enjoying No Man's Sky. I know it's crazy, right? Because I think a few weeks ago was the last time I spoke about it, and I talked about how I had had a little crisis where I was like, oh, I'm not making any progress, but then I started making progress again, so it was okay. And now I've found a couple more Atlas stations, and I've collected a few more Atlas stones, so I'm well on my way. I need to learn more of the Atlas language, though. I still need, because when I go to the Atlas, when I read the Atlas text, it's like a couple of words have been translated and it's not enough. But like, you know, I've gone through black holes, I found more Atlas stations, I have found more anomalies. My big moment a few weeks ago was I finally got the recipe to make an Atlas Pass version 2, which was incredible, because now I was like, yes, now I can open up the locked doors in the stations on the planet, in the buildings on the planets. You still can't open up the doors on the space stations because those are version 3, so I don't know what's behind those. I'm actually thinking it's probably not that great, because once I got the version 2 pass, I started opening up those doors in the buildings and discovered a lot of greenhouses, which are relatively useless. I mean, you can get carbon off the plants, but that's it. But then I saw there were actually, I've also discovered that there are certain locked rooms that hold a bunch of like equipment and stuff, so you can get some stuff out of there that's actually useful and that you can sell and whatever. But because I've been playing so slowly and methodically, like I've already discovered so much stuff that by the time I got the Atlas Pass version 2, what it unlocks is not that impressive or exciting, because I've already found all of this stuff elsewhere. So, but it's still, you know, progress. I've also discovered portals now. I've started coming across portals. They're interesting because they don't show up on your radar. You just sort of see them on the ground. And they're really impressive looking. They make for really nice pictures, but there's really nothing you can do with them. No one knows how to activate them. Like, I've looked around online and stuff, and in No Man's Sky communities and stuff, and like, there's all these theories, but nobody's been able to prove anything. Nobody's been able to figure out how to activate the portals, because you could go through a portal to another planet. But if you go through a portal to another planet, then your ship stays behind. I don't know how you can get your ship to come with you, so that would be not cool. But yeah, like, it's a cool part of the game that nobody's quite figured out how to make work yet. But that's part of the fun of No Man's Sky, is just discovering new things. Sometimes it's little things, sometimes it's cool rock formations, sometimes it's giant portals. There's always something new to discover, which is why the game is so appealing to me. There's always something to do. And I appreciate that there is, like, you know, amongst all the people who are like, this game is crap, and I want my money back, and fuck Hello Games, and fuck Sony for over-promising and under-delivering, there is a community of gamers out there, like me, that love the game, keep playing the game, and I follow a bunch of new Twitter accounts now because they post, like, beautiful pictures, because taking pretty pictures of your journey is also a lot of fun, and sharing them is half the fun too. So I still love it. I'm still playing it. I need to get back into, I need to try Resident Evil again. I know. I will. I promise. But like I said, you give me No Man's Sky in VR and I'm there. I know that Resident Evil game is going to come out in VR too, so maybe that would be the one that made me go, ooh, this is really good. I want that VR experience. I don't know. I'm sure there will be a VR experience that'll sell me a $500 VR system, and my husband will just roll his eyes and shake his head and laugh at me as I sit on the couch like this. But we'll see. If you're playing the PSVR and you're enjoying it, please let me know your opinions of the system and how it works and how immersive it is and how the graphics are and how it plays and if you're having any fun with it. And I'll see you back here next week and I'll talk about something else. Bye!